Update. The aftermath of my 23F husband, 31M, coming home smelling feminine. Here is my actual post. The actual post's too long did not read. My husband was out with a supposed relative, came home with a feminine smell on him. The supposed relative turned out to be his ex. Hello everyone. First I want to thank you all for your concerns, the support and the criticism. I need to address we met when I was 20, engaged when I was 22 and married a couple months ago. I'm turning 24 in a few. I was not flexing on being the mature one and I'm so sorry it came out that way. Please check the first post on my profile for what I was referring to. And yes, it was on me for going ahead and marrying that guy, so dear science, please be quick about that time machine stuff. So for the update I'm gonna put my, I'm okay, mask down and talk about some dark stuff about my mental state, some may find triggering. I spent the night detached from the reality, bathing in my homemade wine, thanking Mother Nature for all the grapes and herbs. But when all the manic phase died away I was a mess. I cried a lot, rolled on the floor, talked myself down by the mirror. My cats were talking me out of suicide at some point. No matter how hard you try, with bipolar you can always find yourself dancing with suicide even if everything was perfect. You already know you are not enough and hearing it from people who is important to you is where you shatter. So I hugged all 13 of my cats like a bouquet and cried while reassuring I won't ever leave them behind and end it. Crazy? Check. A dozen of cats? Check. But in my defense I didn't choose to have that much of cats. They all have special needs, some can't walk, some can't see, and I have plenty of space for them to be happy and time to take care of all of them individually. Please don't mind me rambling, this is my type of coping mechanism. So about my ex. When I'm sober and somewhat came to my senses, the first thing I did was checking my credit cards. This MF treated that woman to places we have never been because it's expensive. I was appalled how they could spend that much money on that short amount of time. He took her to an expensive restaurant where you had to have a reservation, then to an expensive hotel, to do her. Then I checked her social media. In her first post of that day they were in the restaurant with my favorite wine on the table, like in broad daylight. He showed off to her with my money, my taste. Then the next post is her posing in the hotel lobby. Then the so-called, kissing my neck winking face. Photo with a quote, mine again. But buckle up for the great part. He still has our wedding ring on his finger the whole time because this MF gained some weight recently and can't take it off, lol. He was complaining about it for some while, but seeing it in the photo while he is holding the wine glass hit me different. Oh boy, I cried a lot. So I went to my account and deleted everything related to us. I called my father after I pulled myself together. He said he was busy and will call me later, but when he heard my weak, okay, he asked what's wrong. I said it's okay and to call me later and hung up. I gathered all of my ex's stuff in garbage bags while crying and recording the whole process in case he says something is broken. Going through our memories was the worst part. I ripped our marriage photos, destroyed our matching outfits which I hated but he made me wear, murdered a canvas I made for us with a knife, and believe me, it was therapeutic. It all went so fast, almost like a psychotic episode, but I was so calm and relaxed when I was done. I guessed my father called my ex and he was blowing my phone the whole time I'm on destructive mode. He was yelling when answered. He was afraid I did something stupid. How dare I make people worry, that he is on his way to check me. I said yes, I indeed did something stupid by marrying him, and if he insists on coming he is only welcome to take all his stuff back. As you can guess, he lost it. Said I didn't deserve his worry and he shouldn't check so I could die in the corner as a stray bitch I am. It shouldn't get under my skin, but I was like broken into pieces. I told him I'll bite him if he comes near my corner and he should pick up his garbage from my front yard, and hung up. Then I called my father back and told him not to worry. I'm handling the situation. Not to drive that long for the matter, and I'll call him later, but he was already on his way. I stacked my ex's belongings as I said in the garden and unlocked the gate. Gathered all the cats to the living room, turned on the TV and shut the door since I don't want them panicked. Some shits themselves when they are stressed. Then I waited. My brain was so calm even my mental problems were speechless. A few moments later my ex was pounding the door like crazy, cussing me to open the door. I didn't answer. He yelled at worried neighbors to get inside while blowing the ring bell. How dare I throw his stuff out? How dare I won't answer the door? Then it all stopped after a while and he started crying? He was begging me to answer the door. He knew I was inside and he really needed to see if I'm okay. I yelled through the door even if I was not okay, it was not his concern anymore. I was more disgusted he tried to pull that weak manipulation on me than touched he is crying at my door. I yelled I'm so divorcing his broke ass and suing him for the money he used with his side piece. I have the evidence. Also if he doesn't take his garbage from my yard in an instant I'm throwing them all away. When his electronics and his precious watch collection was at stake he called a few people to come pick him up while cussing at me. I was entertaining myself watching him struggle through the window and my father was pulling in the driveway. This MF has the audacity to ask my father to help him take his stuff to his sister's home nearby. I ran outside, grabbed some bags and throw them to the street, then hold my father's hand and rushed the poor guy inside. He was speechless, looking all blank. I could only say, he cheated, then started to cry like crazy. Father hugged me, tried to soothe me, asked me if I wanted something to drink and tugged me in a blanket. Then I kid you not I saw this marshmallow of a man running to the door holding a hammer. I immediately hugged him from the back trying to act like a brake with my body weight, but I don't stand a chance stopping him anyway. So when he opened the door my ex was on the porch with his head by his knees, crying and repeating I'm sorry over and over. My father knows what a psychotic attack looks like from raising me, so dropped the hammer, pulled my ex's arms to make him stand, waited until my ex's crying stopped, then asked if he was okay. When he said I'm fine my father slapped the shit out of him lol. Yelling him to never come near me again or he will hunt him down while my ex was running wobbly to the gates. It really is peaceful ever since. My father couldn't stay that long, since he has a dog at home. He stayed for dinner, we ordered my favorites and I unload my emotions. When he was leaving he said he really meant what he said to my ex. For a moment he really was about to shatter his head with the hammer and will hunt down anyone causing me that heartbreak. I thanked him and apologized for making him going through this. He said I have nothing to apologize, then hold my arm where we have a matching tattoo with my ex and said, cover that up with that badass sleeve tattoos you always wanted. I am a tattoo artist and my father was afraid of heavily tattooed people lol. I hugged him, thanked him for several more times and we both cried a little. When my father left I thought about the tattoo for a while and started to design to keep my mind busy. The whole night, a lot of coffee and some blunts later I had a meaningful whole sleeve and chest design and I made an appointment with a dear friend of mine. She is an amazing artist. My ex's sister called today and said he was not eating or sleeping. My ex didn't tell her the actual situation and said we'll get over it when I'm calm. When I said he cheated she already started to scream to him, so I had to end the call. Later she texted I was and always am a sister to her and she will always be there for me if I ever decided to see her. I said we all need a while for things to settle down, but I also see her as a sister. Also I'm not sure what happened, but the side piece deleted their photos and sharing sad songs on her stories lol. So this time I really am doing fine. Thank you everyone. And cheers to my amazing father. So sorry for everything you went through and thank you for the update. It was well written and appreciated. I remember reading your initial post. What your ex did was cruel and many other adjectives, but you surely dodged a bullet and will have happier days ahead. Anyone that has been through something similar will tell you the same. Make sure you take the time to heal, and since you are artistic that kind of creative outlet will help. Stay strong. Your father is also an amazing man, kudos from him for being a great dad. That is very touching to hear. Wishing you all the best. Stay strong and take care of yourself. The side piece likely deleted everything that can be considered evidence on your ex-husband's orders. I'm glad you're as well as you can be for now, and I'm picturing your father as J.K. Simmons. Gathered all the cats to the living room, turned on the TV and shut the door since I don't want them panicked. Some shits themselves when they are stressed. Relatable. I hope you will overcome the storm and find a new happiness op. All the best for you. For what it's worth, this internet stranger is proud of you. Keep making healthy choices. So brief update, his parents called and his mother pressed me for all the details. They didn't even know he was using my money all this time. They were so apologetic and promised to send me all the money I lost. It was all good until she told me to reconsider divorce. Men's are men, she said. Oh, I saw red. I yelled she is an enabler and she was just glad some other woman playing mommy so she don't have to. We are from different cultures and all she said was we should had a bride from us and hung up. Now I'm expecting a call from my ex. Let's see. Hey, you're a badass lady. Pet tax? Show us the gorgeous darlings? I wish you love and light, and much strength in the time to come. I'm sure your new sleeves will be awesome, winking face. Girl, you are amazing. How you cope is how you cope. Throws that man out. Sounds like you got a great dad and a supportive sil. You are young, you will absolutely find someone better for you long term. Just look after yourself. All my positive energy. I, 26F, am in love with my best friend, 28M, who doesn't love me. I am 26F and I'm in love with my best friend, 28M. I never believed in love. I always thought I would spend my life alone. I've never been in a relationship or even on a date, and I was okay with that. I met my best friend online, about 6 years ago now. He sent the first message, a kind and sweet caring message, and we talked every day after without fail. I never saw them as anything more than a really good friend, a best friend. We got along so well from the get-go. The same sense of humor, a lot of the same interests, etc. I had never clicked with someone like I do with them. I'd never had such a close best friend, someone I could genuinely talk to about anything and everything. Talking to them was the highlight of my day. We didn't meet in person until about a year into our friendship as we lived in different states. It was awkward as hell, but I guess that's what happens when two nerds meet. After that initial day together, we spent a few weeks at a time together over the coming year. It was at this point I started to get some feelings, but tried to just brush it off. I never wanted a relationship, right? As a girl with hardly any real friends, I just needed a good friendship. Throughout us hanging out and talking via text or phone calls, I really thought he was falling for me too. I started to embrace the fact that I liked him. I realized there was without a doubt no one else I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I look back now and I can remember the exact moment that I fell in love with him. Mind you, at the time I had no idea that what I was feeling that morning was love. I love this man. I truly do. He's not my type, but I've fallen in love with his smile and his brain and his laugh and his ability to make me feel safe. I could tell you a million reasons why I love him. Now all the love songs make sense. I was living day by day under the impression that one of these days we would actually date and become official. I thought for sure all our friends thought we were dating and they would all breathe a sigh of relief when the Facebook relationship status update would come. It wasn't till one day he sent me a text out of the blue telling me the girl he liked him too, and to my surprise it wasn't me. I was devastated. It broke me. It was then for the first time I really told him how much I liked him, too scared to tell him I loved him as I thought that would have scared him away altogether. To which his response was that he was sorry that he led me on and that he never meant to hurt me because he cares about me so much. I felt used and stupid. It destroyed me. I was horrible to myself for so long after this. To know I wasn't enough for him, killed me. Then to on top of it have to hear about him and this girl were getting along every now and again because we were still best friends meant the wound never got the chance to heal. Fast forward 2+ years have passed. Things never worked out for him and that girl. Plus the 2 girls after that. We remained best friends and a part of me never gave up hope that maybe one day he would realize that I was here the whole time and that he made a mistake. Last week I found out there is another new girl. He says he really likes her. It's killing me. I thought I had healed and moved on and was just happy with the great friendship that we have, but I'm not. I truly love this man and I genuinely believe he is the one for me and that I will never meet anyone better. Don't get me wrong, I am happy for him. I want him to be happy, I really do. I'm trying to tell myself, if you love them, set them free, right? Right? I don't want to lose this friendship. He's my best friend and I love him as a friend too. I just don't know if I can cope with this if him as this girl actually become a couple and potentially get married. How do I keep it together when I meet her or at their wedding? Please help. Sincerely, broken-hearted girl. Don't take this as I'm being mean, but you really need to go no contact with him for a time period so you can get over this feeling of hurt, and yes, you was hurt, and with the time no contact it will be easier for you to move on with your life. You are a beautiful young woman and beautiful heart filled with love, and you will find someone very special. But you really need to just tell your friend that's for the best for both of you to go your separate ways for a while. This story is playing out in millions of lives all around the world. Tonight, 1 million people are trying to pick up the pieces of a future that never happened. You just have to find a way. You have your proof that he's not the one. People don't change all that quickly, and your life shouldn't be put on hold just in case it happens. There's nothing you can do. You can't control how someone else feels. He knows about your feelings and unfortunately he just doesn't feel that same way. There's nothing wrong with you just because he's not romantically interested. After all, he still talks to you and everything even after you confessed. As for what you would do at their wedding, etc. IDK, this is a tough situation and nothing I say will change how you feel. They are your feelings and it's okay to have them. You need to cut him off. I know it hurts you, but honey, he has been using you all this time. He knows you love him and he enjoys that attention, he enjoys that you will always be there for him, which isn't inherently evil, but he slept with you, knowing you loved him, and then proceeded to date a series of girls all while using you as his sounding board and emotional support. He's selfish and cruel. You need to put distance between the two of you in order to heal. I have been in your position and in his, and it's not fair either way. It's time to back away and move on with your life. Maybe one day you can be friends again, but being as close as you are now is only going to destroy you. Why did you feel used, exactly? Oh boy. You need to cut him off. Reading your comment below, he is absolutely using you to fulfill emotional needs and make himself feel wanted. You have spent enough time trying to be with him, he has made it clear he doesn't want you like that. You are investing love and desires into a black hole that will never return your investment. It can be hard, but you need to cut it off with him and start looking for others. He isn't your soulmate. You will find someone that returns your investment in them. But you will never find them waiting on the sidelines for a man that will never be the man you want him to be. You need to move on. If you keep hanging around him, he's going to keep finding lovely girls until he finds the one he wants to marry, and who knows? Maybe you'll get to be the best woman in his wedding, standing by his side as he pledges his forever love to the woman who isn't you. What is never going to happen is you hanging around him and him realizing that you've been his true love all along. Never going to happen. So right now the choice is yours. Endless torture for the rest of your life, that you are bringing upon yourself by pretending that if you just put enough friendship tokens in, love will fall out. Or doing the healthy thing and moving on and making room in your life for someone else. Girlfriend is furious with me over a joke that I think is harmless. Hi everyone, so my girlfriend, 18F, and I, 18M, are having an issue right now. She is furious with me over a joke that I made which I still think is completely harmless, and I was hoping someone here could help me understand her POV. For context, it was a completely normal morning, she had stayed the night in my dorm, and we both got up so that I could walk her to work. While walking down the street, we saw a young kid and his parents. The kid was screaming and making a ton of noise, so I looked at my girlfriend and said, "Yeah, we really gotta remember to use condoms." The whole reason I said this is because the night before, we had sex 2 times. Once with a condom, once without. I thought this was totally harmless as neither of us want a child at the moment, and we've both said that we need to use condoms more often in the past. She did not take this the way I thought. Almost instantly, her tone changed and she asked me, "Is that the only reason you want to use condoms?" I didn't pick up on the tone shift in the moment, so I simply responded with, "What other reason is there?" After that I could tell she was upset. She said, "So you wouldn't care about all the pain I'd go through in the pregnancy? You wouldn't care if I'm hurting?" I'll be completely honest, I was caught off guard with that one. I was expecting her to mention STD protection or something of that nature. Not the pain she would feel in pregnancy. I told her that of course I would care that she's in pain, but that my head didn't go to there first, because it was just a joke. After that, there really wasn't much talking. I tried apologizing a few minutes later, but that only made her more upset because I don't even know why I'm apologizing. That was true, I didn't really understand it. So I asked her if she could explain why she was so upset, so that I wouldn't make a joke like that again and I won't make her upset like that again. To that she simply responded, "You should know what you did wrong. It's common sense, and I don't want to explain something you should know." This isn't the first time she said that, but it always hurts me, because I'm really bad at picking up on certain cues and hints. I really do try, but I can never seem to get it right, so I just want to understand what I did wrong. Anyways, after that, I dropped her off at work and went back to my dorm. I just want to understand this from her perspective, so I am hoping that someone here can maybe help with that. Thank you in advance. Oh, and please do not make comments on our sex life. I am not here to be lectured on that. A strong relationship involves resolving issues like this with full communication from both people. It's not fair for you to have to just hope you never say the wrong thing and wait until she's hurt to find out. She should be open and honest about her perspective so you can learn more about her and what she does and doesn't like. If she always tells you that you should already know why she's upset without her telling you why, this isn't going to be a very healthy relationship. You are young and so is she. That's really all I got. She's not that emotionally mature. "You should know" is not a good answer. It's bad communication, and picking an argument over a joke sounds exhausting. You just had unprotected sex the night before, right? Maybe she is worried. Her mind could be going through all the possibilities of being pregnant, waiting for her period, buying a test, possibly having to get an abortion. So it probably came off as flippant to her to just be like, kids are annoying, lol. I wonder if she was already stressed out because you two did have sex without a condom. Having sex without a condom has much more serious consequences for her than for you. Is she on BC, and the condom is just a backup? If not, she needs to get Plan B right now. And Plan B can give her all sorts of awful feeling side effects, which you should care about. Her actual comment is odd, because yes, pregnancy is fucking awful, but you do it because you want the, biologically related to you, kid at the end, or you don't do it because you don't want a kid at the end. If you did want the kid and have to terminate due to health anyway, it's something all parties involved are very sad about. That was a harmless joke. I am not sure how or why she spun it negatively on herself in such a dumb way. Seems kinda manipulative to me, trying to twist your words to garner some level of victimhood. Yeah, I have no clue. I'm with you, I really can't tell why that would be common sense, that would be upsetting. Does she have any reproductive system issues that would make pregnancy more painful for her? She sounds like a real killjoy. Abandoned with extreme prejudice. What she did is pretty immature. However, she is still a child. Adults don't make other adults guess. My ex said she was raped, but I'm not sure if I believe her. So I completely understand why this case is tricky, especially with these kinds of cases. I want to get some input and advice before I have a conclusion of my own. Feel free to point out any flawed thinking I might have. My ex broke up with me about a month ago, and she did it because she wanted to focus on trying to find a purpose in life and because she said I wasn't ready to get married. About an hour or two after we broke up, her best friend called me and asked what was going on. We talked about what happened, and she accidentally admitted that she had cheated on me, several times throughout the relationship. Obviously I got super mad at it. I told my ex I never wanted to see her again, and then she got mad that I told her mom. Probably not what I should have done. When I confronted her about it, she says I don't know the full story, but she refused to tell me. She then stopped being friends with the girl. 1 month later we finally meet up and talked. She basically said that everything her friend said was a lie. All the stories she told me of her cheating were all lies. She said what really happened was she was raped at a party, and that someone told her who raped her, and that's how she found out. This would have happened in February. 7 months ago. She said she was going to tell me eventually and that she wasn't ready to tell me because she wouldn't know how I would react. I don't believe the story because she still hung out with the guy that raped her. I remember her getting notifications from him in her phone. She says that he apologized and she forgave him, and that she doesn't need to give me a reason as to why she still hung out with him. She also says all the other stories her ex-friend told me were lies and she never cheated on me once, even though her friend said she cheated a couple of times. I have no idea why her friend would lie. She had nothing to gain from that. All she did was lose a friend. None of this sits right with me. I feel like she just doesn't want to be labeled as a cheater. She also talked to one of my friends, and he told me she admitted to 2 different times she cheated. She was high, so I am not sure if that had anything to do with it. She said that he was lying too. Is there something I'm missing about a rape victim? Obviously I want to believe her, but I don't think I do since her story doesn't really add up. I'd like some input on this since I don't really know what to think. I'll answer any questions for details if you need it, thank you. She's an ex, block and move on. You're wasting your time trying to unwind this mess. It doesn't really matter. She is an ex. Block her and move on. For the record, 2 of her friends are telling you she cheated. Her own story makes no sense. Everything says she cheated. No longer your problem. Just don't get back with her. Good luck. It doesn't matter what happened. Just move on. She's your ex. Leave her as your ex and move on. Ex. Move on, dude. She sounds crazy and she's spreading that crazy on you. Block. No contact with her, friends or her fucking mother. Is she trying to get back together? This is an ex. Why were you meeting with her at all? The alleged rape has nothing to do with why you broke up. You can both move on from this relationship. Beyond that, yes, often people who are assaulted or even abused continue to be in contact with that person. Psychologically, even though they know what happened, for many reasons, and often women and girls are taught this, they justify it as their fault or that no one will believe them anyway, or if she was in a certain situation with him that she won't put herself in the same situation, etc. So it's certainly possible she's telling the truth, but the only other person who knows that is him. So unless you're going to ask him, move on from her the way you were anyway. Well, someone is obviously lying here, but what stands out to me is, why would her friend lie about the girlfriend cheating on you after you guys had broken up? What purpose does that serve? Why would your friend lie about her admitting to cheating as well? Do you think he is lying and there is some big conspiracy against your ex even though you guys are broken up? Or is it more likely that your ex is lying to you as she benefits the most from doing so? Emo, your ex lied to you, is still lying to you, and you should cut all contact with her and move on. She cheated. She's using rape as a scapegoat.